Hey, you guys. We have Lauren with us, Lauren Shaw. Lauren, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. I cannot imagine going through a month or 5 weeks of quarantine. That must have been so hard. I'm like a massive extrovert, so like just thinking about that extreme quarantine just already just gives me the sweats. It stresses me out. But I'm sure that many people can relate, right? And so we appreciate you just being vulnerable um, and we just thank you for that. We thank you for just kind of opening up into the hardships of what happened. So before we want people to get to know you a little bit. So tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what you're studying, how you got into soccer, all that good stuff.
Okay. My name is Lauren Shaw. I am from Livingston, Texas. I am on the women's soccer team at A&M Commerce. I am studying human performance. I want to become a physical therapist when I graduate. And what got me into soccer, my dad actually started coaching me while I was really little. So I was 3 years old when I started playing. And it was just like a family thing. Every weekend, like my dad would go and take me and we'd practice. My sisters play soccer as well. So it was just really a thing that kind of united us throughout our, like, every time we were busy, we kind of made time to go and play together. And so that's really what got me into soccer.
Yeah, that's sweet. How did you decide to go to A&M Commerce?
So I got the call from the head coach saying that he wanted me to come down to a camp. And from the moment I first stepped on campus, it just seemed different than other colleges. Like, everyone was so accepting, and there's just this atmosphere of us all trying to challenge each other to become like better people in every aspect of our lives. And it was really inspiring, and I really wanted to be a part of that.
That's sweet. What year are you now?
I'm a sophomore.
Okay, cool. And so how did you get connected with AIA?
So at the very beginning of my freshman year, there was a big like welcome back party that AIA hosted. So all the athletes invited. We had pizza, different games, events, and I was just like, oh, like this is really cool. Like I really enjoyed it. So I decided to come back the next week for one of our actual meetings. And everyone there was just like so like full of God and really like yearned to like develop an even stronger relationship. And I just really wanted to be a part of that.
That's sweet. So did you have a background, like a Christian background growing up, or how did you decide that that's something you wanted to be a part of?
Yes, ma'am. I've been a Christian since I was little. Both of my parents are Christians, so they raised me in that environment.
Mhm.
And in high school, I was our school's chaplain, so making up the prayers each week and leading Bible studies and just leading the school. Just I felt like it was my calling. So AIA really has helped me to further that interest of mine.
Dang, that's sweet. That's really cool. I feel like one of the reasons I love being involved or being on staff with AIA is just like that we get to equip you guys to do things like that. So that's cool to hear that you've got to brought you were able to bring what you learned from the past, but then you got to like build on that. You know,
Yes.
that's sweet. You shared a little bit in the video about how God has been moving in your life, right, despite the hardships of 2020. And so, how have things been outside of quarantine and after you had that realization of just to live for God now?
So getting out of quarantine was really exciting. I was honestly just I could not wait to start practicing and like actually getting to be with my team again.
Yeah.
And being out of quarantine was just kind of like a weight lifted off my shoulders, and I realized like, wow, that was hard, but like God got me through it. And like looking back, I was like, yeah, I struggled a lot, but just having that relationship with God and knowing that He was going to be there through me throughout that really helped motivate me to continue on. And like after quarantine, I've been great. I've been trying to maintain that positive attitude that I started like after I had that epiphany.
Mhm.
um, I've just been making sure to focus my life on God and realize that even when other things come up and even when other difficulties arise, He's still there for me, and I'm able to be successful despite any other difficulties.
Right, right. That's sweet. I liked how you said in there that like his plan is just so unimaginable that we can even imagine that, right? That even when things seem like we can't rely on our own success, we can't rely on our own talents, especially in quarantine, right? And it's like he doesn't care. Like he doesn't care about how successful we are, how good we are at something. Like he just wants our heart, right? And I think that was really sweet that he used that time to just give you that revelation and kind of just kind of bring you back to him. That's sweet. What encouragement would you offer other athletes who are also struggling with their hardships and especially the struggles that 2020 has brought?
So even if like people aren't in quarantine, it's still athletes are impacted so much by this.
Mm-hmm.
don't really, there's so many like unknowns. Things are constantly getting changed, especially like over the summer. We didn't know some of us were not going to be playing, with games being postponed or even moved to the next season. So I think it's just really important to like focus on God, and like we serve the God that created our entire universe. And when you like stop and focus on the bigger picture, if he's able to do that, he's able to take care of these small things in our lives that
Yeah.
seem simple. And even just the pandemic in general, like we just serve an amazing creator, and knowing that he can take care of us, and even when things seem impossible to us, they're just tiny things to him. And I think just realizing that God is all powerful and he has a plan for our lives, and it may not be our plan, but it's far better than anything that we could have come up with ourselves. So in
Yeah.
the end, it works out for his glory.
That's so good. That is so good. I can't think of a better way to end. So thank you for chatting with us, Lauren. As I mentioned, it was just really great to hear your story, and even to see you now, and to hear afterwards, and how God is moving even now. Guys, we have another Q&A with Todd after this, so stay plugged in. You won't want to miss that. Lauren, again, thank you so much for hopping on this chat with us tonight.
Bye.
Bye.